Okay, so let's talk about the ending of The Last of Us. And if you've played the game or any of that, you pretty much know that this was going to happen. And so they said it was going to be massively divided and all of that, but I don't know how divided we actually might all be, but we'll talk about it at the end. So this episode was very much so just like the ending of the game after they go about with David and the cannibals and all of that. We're pretty much just on the downward spiral till we get to the Fireflies. So let's talk about that and its ending and what they changed. So before we get any further, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. South by Southwest, we're going back tomorrow, so we got a lot of coverage coming for you, so make sure you are having that notification bell on. And let's talk about this ending. So pretty much we got to the finale, and I will give a full review on The Last of Us as a show for me tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But this was definitely going to be a heartbreaker. So we see at the beginning of this episode, just exactly, we see Ellie's mother, who is played by Ashley Johnson, who actually does the voice of Ellie in the video game. So a full-on full circle for Ellie's character, which was great. We see that she got bit, she was pregnant, she gave birth, and then Marlene had to pretty much kill her because she was going to turn. And she told her to raise Ellie and take care of her, all of this, which Marlene has done for the most part now. So when you get back to Joel and Ellie after we see that Ashley Johnson's character has now been killed, and we go back to where we were in the previous episode, Ellie's a little bit too taken aback from everything that had just happened with David. Joel is feeling a little bit warmer to her and trying to sort of lighten the mood in sorts. They do have a sort of connection when Joel and Ellie pretty much talk about how they kind of like came into each other's lives at right times, and they sort of have this like bond, this family bond that they have now. And they don't really flat out say it, but you can tell that there is definitely a lot of sort of family love that they have for one another, and it is definitely something that is going to get to us because we know what's coming next, especially if we play the game. Just as they are enjoying this tender moment, we then have somebody ambush them, and then Joel wakes up and now he's with Marlene, and we have Ellie nowhere in sight. Marlene basically thanks Joel for bringing Ellie, explains what's about to happen, that pretty much the cordyceps, since they grow in the brain and all of that, Ellie will not be able to survive the surgery and all of that, but that she will actually be helping to get this cure out. Of course, Joel is not going to have this because that means that Ellie will be gone and it's all for this cure, which he can't be guaranteed that it's going to be like 100% or any of that. And I'm not even sure how Joel would feel if it was 100%, right? So he goes all ballistic after they try to take him out. He takes out all of the guards, the soldiers, he takes out the surgeon, all of that, and he gets Ellie out of there. And as he is running out, Marlene tries to stop him and says that he still has time, that he can make things right, that this is important, it's for the cure and all of that. And then we cut to Joel driving Ellie out of the hospital, and as we see that what happens next is that we go back to what happened, and Joel tells Marlene nah and duck, and he just shoots her right there. Marlene is dead because of course Marlene would never stop going after her if he just let her go. And so we have Joel and Ellie now who have gotten out of this, and we see a little bit time has passed, and Ellie asks Joel if there really was nothing that she was going to be able to do at the hospital, because Ellie this whole time has been under anesthesia. She didn't know what everything was going to be implicated. If she had gone forward with it, she would have been dead and all of that. So this was never really explained to her, it seems. And so Joel tells her that there were many other people who had the same thing as Ellie, that she wasn't like special, I guess you could say, but they found out they couldn't make a cure, so they just let them all go. Of course he's just lying to her, but she is sort of like inclined to believe him because what else she can do. But she just really asks him one more time if there really was nothing else that they could have done, and he says yeah, there was nothing else they could have done, and cut. That's our finale right there. Pretty much the same thing we saw in the game happen here. And so the question to you as the viewer, as the player of the game, whatever, is would you have done what Joel did? And in my opinion, yes, 100%. Now this is going to be different from people to people. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. You could say there's a morally right answer, but at the end of the day, my thoughts and opinions are that this is already a world that's already pretty messed up, in my opinion. There was no guarantee that this would be a cure, and Joel and Ellie have been through so much already, and they just have one another at this point. So I can definitely see why Joel would have done what he did, because this is somebody he cares so much about. He already has the PTSD from losing so many people in his life already, and so I don't think he would want to go through that again for something that he wasn't 100% sure would work as well and would make a difference in the world that's already here. And so I think that that's the biggest question it has for you is, do you think that it is the right thing to do? Because are you going to give up the person that you care about the most in order to potentially save like the population? If not, maybe wouldn't even go back to anything normal, right? Like there is no guarantee for any of this. And so that is definitely a good question that The Last of Us brings. And I'm curious to know what you think about it, whether you think I'm wrong thinking that Joel, what he did was the right call, or do you think that this is definitely the right call he did? So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Is Joel's decision correct or not? And we'll probably have some more discussions about this because I think it is a very interesting dilemma, and especially when I played the game when it first came out and this dilemma was everywhere on the internet, on Reddit and all of that, and people go back and forth. I don't think you can ever make anybody agree with one opinion or the other once they set their sights on one, because I played the game 4 times already, watched the show, and I still think that Joel did what he had to do in order to save Ellie, and I think that that is definitely a very, very hard choice to do. So that's pretty much the ending of The Last of Us Season 1. They do promise that Last of Us Season 2 will have a lot more of the monsters and everything going around. So for people that were very upset that there wasn't a lot of that, Season 2's got you, apparently. But yeah, at the end of the day, Ellie isn't sure whether to trust Joel or not, but she's just gonna have to go with it because Joel is somebody who she's been with this whole time, and also there's just no way for her to know if there really wasn't a cure or not, because everybody in that facility has now been killed by Joel, which I know it is a thing that is going to come back to haunt Joel, and we'll talk about that for Season 2 in my video tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that because we got a lot to talk about that as well. And so we'll have a bigger discussion on Joel's decision as well. But I really did enjoy the fact that they introduced Ashley Johnson as Ellie's mother, gave her a role in this, because I think that she really brought this character to life in the video game. So it was great to see that she was given the opportunity to sort of be shown as Ellie's mother, because she is basically Ellie's creator in the game as well, being the voice and all of that. So I think it also helped to show Marlene's sort of dilemma as well that she would probably have with it, as well as seeing Ellie be born and taking care of her all this time. But at the end of the day, I think Marlene saw things differently than what Joel did, because I think that Joel already had this past trauma that he was carrying with him, and then him sort of like going through all of these things with Ellie over these months, because it was months that it took him to come out all the way out here to the facility. I know in the show it's just like 6 episodes we see them together, or 7, but it really is a long time that they got a chance to bond in a solo type of environment. So I definitely think that Joel really was having such a dilemma, thinking about what to do, but at the end of the day, he wasn't losing anybody else, and I can't blame him. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, and as always, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers, less than 3,000 to go. South by Southwest this week, so we will be having some content on the channel, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that, so make sure you subscribe for that. But as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.